is if you're not present for someone or you're not dedicating your time to them, they will find something else to take up their time. And as a result, likely find someone else
Okay.
to take up their time.
What are you saying?
And it's not like a conscious decision. It's just like not even a reflex. It's just, this is what I have seen, so let me mirror it. It's like when there's an accident.
But you don't plan.
But
But
you
it's
don't
because
plan.
you've seen it or
It's
you've
because you've seen
experienced it. Yeah.
It's like if like you go to, if you are driving and you suddenly notice the car is not moving well, even if you're not a car specialist or what, you'll pull over to the side of the road and get out and just walk around the car and see what's happening. If the engine even goes off, you just, even if you have no clue about the engine, you'll open the bonnet and just look and stand and just...
Okay, I wouldn't, but yeah. I hear you.
But it's a
I
default
would
setting.
check that. Yeah,
you
you
just
check.
open and look,
Yeah.
and the moment after you've opened and looked, you realize, hey, there's actually nothing and out to do here. You close and then you call the mechanic or something like that. So like in that default mode setting, I was legs up, screen on, remote in hand.
What was going through your mind?
I want to know what was going through your mind.
I want to first understand what was going through your mind, perspective. Oh, you're just watching, you're enjoying news, you're enjoying whatever it is you're watching.
To be honest, in hindsight, I wasn't enjoying. I wasn't even following. I was just like, I need to watch news. I need to be an informed citizen of our nation. To be a man who is glued and aware of what's taking place in the times.
Okay.
But now for you as a lady.
So here I am. We both had a long day.
Yeah.
We get home and obviously it's just the two of us. So somehow you have to eat. You have to have dinner. And so quickly, I see, like you described, you really narrated it well. You go off, do your thing. And I start to prepare. And, I'm even trying to have conversation with him while I'm in the kitchen, or saying, maybe like this rapport, or even I'm like, come closer, and like we really have this conversation and build it up. We can, while I'm doing what I'm doing. And it was like oblivious for you, so you just wanted your space. And so we finish. I have dinner ready. I have to get your attention to even be able to have it, to eat it, and I come to sit down with you. And there are times I even asked you or told you, could you remove that? Okay, you've been watching, and maybe I was not around, but now that I'm around, is it possible for us to spend time together? And it also comes from my blueprint, because growing up, you share a meal, and I think you've experienced this now. You share a meal together, you have conversation.
Can you pause there? I experienced the same things.
Okay. But you don't have, it's with intention that growing up we never took our phones to the table, or we never had TV on while having dinner, with exception, particular scenarios. But you would have conversation. It was a bonding moment. And by the time you finish dinner, you're clearing. You've talked about something, you're laughing, everyone is going, we built something. So that's what I was hoping for. And anyway, we just end up having dinner, seated next to each other, or sometimes not. But at times I'll try and at least just come physically and sit next to you, although I know I would not engage in any conversation. After we
engaging in conversation, it was so surface.
Yeah.
It was like,
of course, because you're focused on, we're and the thing about communication is or a relationship is you nurture it and you grow and you keep bonding, or should I say, I think it's emotional intimacy for a lady. Yeah, so you create and grow and nurture that emotional intimacy that, like, I know what's going on in your life. I can share my thoughts with you. And I don't think we were at that space because we didn't have that environment. So we finished dinner. Here I am. I will also, because he's doing his thing, I will clear. And so then I'm like, I guess let me go, start to wind down my day. And even after I wind down my day and I'm like, oh, would you come, join me? Because of course tomorrow is an early day. Let's wind down that day, close, pray, and, rest. And you would say, no, you're still catching up with, screen and whatever it is you're doing. So I would go to bed and leave him, doing what he's doing. And then he later on comes to join me. I did communicate it, I believe, to a point where I realized, I think he has heard. Oh, I hope he has heard. But just coming from the previous episodes we've had, deciding to, just take it to word, because I have communicated. I thought he has heard, or I hope he has heard. It's still the same. So there's nothing I can do. I can't pull you. I can't, get you out of your world into mine. It can't happen like that. And so, it would build up in such a way that we're not having because we're not having those conversations on that emotional intimacy. Then you're doing you, and then I have to sort of sort myself, like, like sort yourself. Find something to engage you. Yeah. And that was it for me.
The funniest thing, a thing that I think you're not aware of, was because I was doing something that was one, not like, how would I call it? It is not illegal or offensive to watch news.
Yeah.
It is not, what would I call it?
Doesn't kill anyone.
It doesn't kill anyone. There is no harm in it, because it's not like news is bad. It's not like the TV is the devil. But the fact that it was stealing time was the one that was hurting the relationship. The funniest thing.
And for our case, it was that this particular example. But for other people, it could be different things. It could be spending time with your particular friends. It could be, whatever it is. Yeah, but go on.
I think you spoke about it like 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I think the day I was watching news and I was like, I started finding myself getting interested in some things, like news things, like following stories which I would never follow before. And I just paused one day and I heard you laugh. This is actually, I think, the moment that made me say, something is actually wrong. You were upstairs on your phone and you were chatting with a friend of yours. And you laughed. And you laughed so loudly. And I was there watching news, and I think I was just existing in front of the TV.
Okay.
And in that moment, I was like, wait. It has been long since I heard you laugh that loud. Then I'm like,
who's making me laugh?
Wait. Who on earth is making this girl laugh?
At this time.
Wait. It's like 10 o'clock. Who is this? But I knew who it was. It was one of your girlfriends. And I sat down and I was like, okay, there's something wrong here.
So that was your light bulb moment?
I would say it was my wake-up call.
Okay. And did you acknowledge then what was at that moment? Or you still didn't know what it was, but you were like, this?
I acknowledged it in that very moment. Because I remember, I think that was a time where I realized, this news thing, even though I am enjoying it, although not really enjoying it because it wasn't.
It's not you. You are thinking about it now.
I just realized that, what? I think I am losing touch with the person who I married. I am existing alone. She is existing alone. We are in the same space, but we are not together. we are married but becoming housemates. We are aware of what each other are doing, but not aware of how each other are feeling. Aware of the fact that you are, I don't know the appropriate term to use is, I'm aware of how you are. Okay. Let me put it in a different sense. It's like a situation of, I know you have gone to, let me use a very wild example. It doesn't make sense. It may not make sense. I know you have, because I'm not much of a football fan, but like, let's say, you know that I have gone to watch a football match, but you do not know how I am feeling about the football match. So what I'm saying is, like, I knew where you are, I knew what you were doing,
What I was about, but
I did not know what, like, your motivations were for doing the thing. What was the joy you were deriving from it?
what were my emotions?
What was the emotion that you had? What were your convictions to have?
My pains.
Or the pains.
Yeah.
We were housemates.
Who are becoming serious house.
We were becoming housemates.
And I think also something else that maybe added onto that is that then started this unwind was we spoke about community and the importance of community. Why are you laughing?
Let me mention something. You know, the funniest thing is, I have mentioned this whole news thing, but I have forgotten the period of time when you were also on that Housewives thing. Remember that Housewives show? I can't remember which one it was. But it was like,
But you know, yes, I was not even enjoying it.
you were watching it and you're like, Timothy, can I see what I've done? Can I see what I've done? And I'm like,
But I was
okay,
indulging.
I'll come and watch.
I was
And I'll be like,
indulging.
okay, then I'll be on my phone while you're watching.
But I don't think that was
You were
many times,
indulging.
but I was indulging the season
But you might
and entertaining.
You are like really, really.
I swear.
Like it took you.
I just remember that I was indulging. Just remember. So I was talking about community and the importance of community, because I remember we were in a space where we were sharing and we were starting to have conversations around this exact topic, you know, isolation and oneness, and how, you know, going your own way can lead you to isolation, but you know, you need to work towards oneness in the marriage. I think you would never have gotten to understand how I felt or how I was feeling in that situation if you hadn't asked me those questions. And if I wasn't in a space where I could answer, and you receive the answer and then realize that, what, this is what was happening? This is serious. Yeah. That's, I think, wasn't that also something else that like, aside from that particular scenario, the community and that space that we had where those conversations happened, and then you were enlightened more, and then we were both aware of what was happening, and then intentionality began.
Yeah.
But you say that so reluctantly, or you're still reflecting?
No, still reflecting on that moment. Yes, the community helped. It helped with getting out of the phase.
No. I don't mean getting out, that they pulled us out or they helped us get out, but the conversations that started, we continued, just the two of us in our space, and then used that to, that's what I mean. Hopefully we're on the same page. Or you mean that they pulled us out?
I'm meaning that they pulled us out. They helped with the pulling out. What I'm meaning is,
this is sad for you.
no, it's not hard. I'm just looking for the right term. What I mean is that the conversations, from my perspective, came in a little, like a while after we had gone through that.
The conversations about this, about
Like
the
the
situation.
community coming into it.
Oh, yes. But I'm saying it was part of that, because now we're giving, you know, insight to then how did we navigate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was sharing. On top of you having that moment which sparked the realization.
But that moment of realization is, let me just mention something that I wanted to mention, is if you're not present for someone or you're not dedicating your time to them, they will find something else to take up their time. And as a result, likely find someone else
Okay.
to take up their time.
What are you saying? I didn't find someone else.
No, there was a person. I'm not saying that you are doing something.
Yeah.
I'm saying that
There's a void.
found when there's a void,
Yeah, you find
something happens.
Yeah.
There is never truly like a vessel that is empty. It will either have air, it will have a fluid, it will have a solid. But there's never something that's truly empty. And so whatsoever room that you leave, something will occupy.
Yeah.
In that time, it was your friendship and your connection with your friend where you were deriving joy. And the joy was no longer present from me because I was the transport officer. I was the guy who used to drive you and from work. You can laugh now, but when you look at it,
Yeah.
as the transport officer, as the security guy, clocking up and all, not in a bad way.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
But we were
Starting to drift.
starting to drift. We have to be honest. Yeah. And I think coming out of it, like that light bulb moment of saying and asking myself, is this really that important?
Okay.
Is this entertainment that important? Are these distractions that important? Do they warrant me deriving joy and happiness versus the joy and happiness I can have with my wife? Because as I chose to make you my wife, I chose to have a life with you. But if I am having a life with your existence, existence, but not presence or connection, I merely have a person in space.
Yeah. That's not a life to have.
That's not a life or wife to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Hearing you talk about this is like, I'm just like, wow, you've grown. Like, not in a bad way, but like, there's so much growth I see over these years. And don't roll your eyes. One gray hair right
Yes,
there.
just one.
Yeah, but it's just beautiful to watch. I think the realization, the acknowledgement, the ownership, but also the intentionality to get to where we are now and working towards continuous oneness. Because whilst that is all happening, you can still go on dates, you can still go to parties, you can still all that, but it can, like, there is, do you want to aspire to, I think, and let me close this let me have this as my relationship note. What kind of relationship do you want to have, or what kind of marriage do you want to have? Do you want to have a surface level marriage where it's just, yeah, we are happy, everyone knows we're together, we'll go for weddings together, like, everything is fine, I don't hate you, you don't hate me, we'll talk. But then there's that depth, like, what do you want to, and you see there are levels to deep, because we are in different seasons, because every day is different for each of us, and every day I choose to share something that has happened intimately with you. We get closer and we go deeper. So is it just the surface that you want, or is it the depth that you want? And if it's the depth that you want, it then comes with effort, it comes with intentionality, it comes with awareness, and just being alert to, I need to grow this with my spouse, with my partner, and move from deep to deeper, to deeper, to deeper. Because as the months go by, as the years go by, as the seasons change, what a conversation you had 2 years ago is different now, because you have a family. and the emotions that your spouse has towards a particular situation would be different. So I think this is this is just food for thought, in terms of our relationships, our marriage, and the relationships around us. What kind of relationship do you want to have? Because the surface relationship doesn't have much work, but the deep relationship has a lot of work, in regards to openness, transparency, vulnerability, seeking out someone's interest above your own, and on and on and on. So yeah, what's your relationship lot or story? You've given a deep story, so.
I'd like to speak about knowing the person and having a relationship, but I'm going to use a work relationship.
Yeah, it's okay. It's relationship.
The fact of getting deep and knowing the other person is very important, because they know what you stand for and what you don't stand for. I'm reminded of a friend of ours, my workmate, Angela, and we had a situation at work. It's not necessarily related to marriage, but related to the story and how sometimes in relationships people need to know what you stand for and how they will actually make decisions on your behalf without you knowing about it. So we had some activity or event that was happening at work, all meant to happen, that I was supposed to be a part of. And so they reached out to invite me to be a part of it. And so when they reached out to her to say, oh, we are thinking of inviting Timothy as well to come for this. And without dropping a beat, she said, no, he won't come for this event. It's not something he believes is actually the right time or the right use of resources. And she told me after about 2 weeks about it. About 2 weeks
What event
later,
was that?
I can't say.
Okay. But it was
But I'll
against
say-
your values.
But it was against my values and what I stood for.
Okay.
And so the fact that a workmate can do that for me, I ask myself this question: how many people have that with their spouses? Where your spouse can actually knowingly say no on your behalf, knowing that you would be 100-fold okay with that decision, and they made a decision that you would make,
Yeah.
and even make a statement of rejection that you would make, and say it in the sense and same level of conviction that you would make. That would be my thing. Invest in your relationship to a point where they know you and understand you, that they can represent you
Yeah.
without you necessarily having to do all of the work.
And when they represent you, you are
at peace, you are comfortable, you can sleep well.
until next time.
This has been Relationship Notes and Stories.